Hey fellas, welcome back to 6:30 Games. The time now is 10 p.m., 10:20 specifically. I've got 5% battery, my phone is running on fumes, and today I'll be playing the F-15. Okay. And just a disclaimer, my F-15 has mods, so if your F-15 is below level 20, you're gonna see a lot of things here that I can do that you probably cannot. And for that kind of an explanation, you can go to the extra games where I elaborate a little bit. Oh, real players. Hopefully the lose streak doesn't become 2. But I'm gonna try my best to do, get some kills. Okay. It is 2v2. 2v2 enemy has an attack plane. I'm just gonna camp the attack plane the whole game. The attack plane doesn't even have a not disruptive flare, it doesn't even have daredevil turning. And the reason why I want to camp the attack plane, well, it's because bots don't know how to deal with attack planes. So you leave them behind, and well, they're gonna get a lot of value for doing nothing, basically. No kill. Okay. I'm gonna try and get some missiles here on the Su-34. It's gonna go behind the wall. Okay. The Gripen is doing something mysterious. Sure. I'll live because I have the... Okay. Almost got him there. If the second missile had hit me, I still had passive, so that would have been perfectly okay by me. Gonna get this. The Gripen can try and chase me, but I mean, he can't do much. The fight has traversed to our spawn, so they are in an extreme disadvantage. Okay, my aim is just terrible. If there's an attack plane behind you, you can just barrel roll like that and just dodge everything, because they have very low roll rate. So if you just kind of roll around like that, they actually cannot match you. Or if they can, it's gonna be very difficult. So that's one way to stall out an attack plane. I'll not say stall out, but you know what I mean, right? That's a good one. And now what's one thing I can do with the Gripen is that I have more speed than it. Okay, never mind. I would want to go for the... how do you say? The Su-34, but I think right now it would just be a bit more valuable to kill some bots. The fight direction was good for me there. What's fight direction? I'll explain that in another video, hopefully, if I remember. Do remind me. Okay. Well, I mean, this Su-34 is cooked. Goodbye. Gripen. And here's a neat trick about daredevil turning. They say you have to be near walls, but that's a fucking cap, because the floor counts as a wall, by the way. So if you're near the floor, you can actually get, well, daredevil turning bonus. The Gripen's gonna lose more energy than me, and I'm a bit faster, so I'm just gonna go kill it just like that. In a one-on-one, I wouldn't have been able to deal with it, but, well, yep. That's what I mean. With some baseline mobility, you can just dodge shit for free. The Su-34 shouldn't chase me here, because, I mean, why would you? And looks like he's very smart. I don't even know why I'm going for the heal. I thought I was damaged. I'm hallucinating. Thanks, passive. The ADV's gonna get him. No problem. Okay, good. We get our win streak back, and you know I'm trying to look for a 2-digit win streak on the Winstreak games. So let's see whether this is our time. 10-2. This is average performance. All right, cutting over to the extra section right about now. If you want to listen to the explanation about why I give that the F15 is better at level 20 than it is at level 12, for example, you can just keep a listen. Alright, see you in a bit. And welcome to the extra section. The match time was 2 minutes and 10 seconds, so yeah, it looks like it will be all bots. So I guess since I don't need to think about too much, I'll just take the time to talk. I recently had a viewer ask me in private about how to play the F15. He had it at below level 20, below level 16, so he had no mods. So he was asking me, hey, how do you play the F15? It seems like kind of an ass plane. And you know, the only answer I could really give him was that it kind of is a very ass plane. And here is, you know, I couldn't word it out properly back then, but hopefully this will be a better explanation. But here it goes. There are parts of the game that are modular. They are variables, you might say. They can change. One thing is your turn rate. If they're double turning, you can change your turn rate. With thrust booster, you can change your top speed and your acceleration. These sorts of things, right? With finishing guns, you can change your cannon damage. Now, there are many things in the game that you can change, but there are also many things in the game, or not so many things, but some key things that do not ever change no matter the level. Not the health, not the whatever. So what are the constants in the game? Well, for the discussion, or what's related to the discussion right now, it is missile turn rate and missile speed. Now, you have to wait until the How Missiles Work video to come out for a good explanation or a good intuition. The missiles video might come out in a while. I'm sorry guys, it's gonna take a while. Anyways, the long and short of it, or the short of it, is that, well, missiles have a set turn rate, right? For example, my manual missiles move at a maximum of 15 degrees per second turn rate. Now, what's one thing I'm pretty sure everyone has experienced in the low elo, or not say low elo, but low level, is that planes like the F-16 have no problem dodging missiles completely, whereas planes like the F-15, you feel like you're kind of feeling like shit all the time. And well, that's because planes like the F-16 have access to maneuverability that F-15 does not. Now, what does that have to do with the F-15's performance at, well, the different levels? Why this is a point of discussion is that, well, my mods, you can see right now, thrust booster and daredevil turning, they don't just increase my stats, they are allowing me to play how do you say, they are allowing me to avoid the constants of the game. So you think about how easily you can dodge missiles in an F-16 versus how hard it is in the stock F-15. I'm just gonna keep talking until the next game begins. You think about how easy it is to dodge in a normal F-16 without mods versus how hard it is to dodge in a normal F-15 without mods. And you might be thinking that, oh, I'm just bad at the F-15. No, not really. It's because the F-15, without the tools available to it at level 20, is just really shit. You can think about it like with... Sorry. You can think of it just like the Jaguar, for instance. So what's the difference then? I remember that there was this guy on Discord. Bless his heart, he tries to help the noobs, but he's really talking out of his ass. And he says, I don't recommend Daredevil turning on F15 because I would still lose dogfights. And that comes off as a very naive perception of what Daredevil turning does. Why is Daredevil turning important? It's because it doesn't just, how do you say, it doesn't plaster a weakness or something. It doesn't make you marginally better. It gives you unlocked abilities that you could not ever do in the plane. You think about it like this, right? With Daredevil turning, your F15 isn't just a better dogfighter. It has now more mobility than the stock F16. And given that there are no mods in the game that changes missile turn rate to make it more deadly, so opening up the F15, right? You can see that my missile turn rate is always 15 degrees per second, whereas something like a more deadly missile in the J10 would be 45 degrees per second, right? So nothing can increase missile turn rate or missile speed. So just by increasing my mobility, I can now unlock the ability to dodge missiles more reliably, both with flares and without flares. So that is why, if you look at my gameplay with my mod loadout, do not think that it is too applicable in lower elo. Is this another bot game? Oh shit, it is. Okay. And that is what I mean to say. It is because missiles do not change, whereas you can change your mobility and your turn rate. And that is why the F-15 goes from a bathtub that can't dodge for shit to something that can dodge everything. Now in the case of an F-16, when it gets Daredevil turning, it becomes a better dogfighter. That's true. But it doesn't unlock much other abilities, does it? It can already dodge infrared missiles just fine. But the thing with the F-15 is that with mods, it unlocks abilities. Normally, it could not do a lot of the things it does at level 20, but with the mods and with my mod loadout at level 20, I can actually do, well, more. Right? It's sort of like if you go bodybuilding at the gym, you need some kind of a baseline performance to be able to do everything. Right? If you're at the gym and you're kind of scrawny and you're unable to lift up a barbell to do squats and stuff, then you cannot do squats and stuff. But once you get the baseline fitness to be able to do a squat, then you can do a lot of things with a barbell. Whereas for people that can use barbells already, if they get any stronger, I mean, it's not like they're gonna somehow figure out a more effective way to use the barbell. They can already just do most of whatever. And that is what the mods do for the F-15. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense to you guys. If you need more elaboration, do tell me in the comment section below. But that is basically what I hope to say, is that well, there are certain things in the game you can only do with a certain amount of mobility. And the F-15 at its base does not have the necessary mobility. Once again, do not be fooled by this performance here. I mean this is just a bot match. So normally the F-15 cannot reach 800 knots, right? I cannot go all the way to the heel and back again with such quickness, but with thrust booster I can. So that doesn't just mean that, oh, I can go faster. It gives me more opportunities. And that is what stats do. Once you get a minimal amount of stats, you get more opportunities. Whereas with the F-16, you don't really get more opportunities with stats, you just kind of get better at what you can already do. And I've already done the math, you can check it out in the Discord, but essentially what it is that Daredevil turning is actually more important for this kind of immobile fighters than more mobile fighters. If you want to check the math, you can come into the Discord link. But in essence, it actually reduces the mobility deficit to some extent. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Hopefully the Winstreak match isn't a bot match, and I hope to you viewer that it answered some of your questions. Okay, see you in the next episode.